Hey, my name is Frank, and this is what we did last night. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm not feeling that great. I actually had to do a whole service, kind of like sick. And so I would love to hear what was like a service that you've done that you were completely sick, but you were, amazed that God still showed up. Because last night, even though I was sick, we had like 5 new students. I still preached a long message, and I got text messages afterwards saying that they had a great time. And so I just know that ministry has nothing to do with me and all to do with God just showing off through our ministry, through our leaders, picking up the slack because I was feeling pretty miserable last night. We started off the service with our narrow playlist. And you guys I have over 100 subscribers to this playlist, and you guys keep subscribing. I love it. If you have any song recommendations that I'm not aware of, let me know, or just share your Spotify playlist so I can steal your good music and we can keep sharing each other's awesome playlist with each other. For the first funny video, I showed I think they're called Bluefish or something like that. I try to stay away from like the big box Christian video companies because usually they make kind of really bad videos. But in this situation, this video is actually really good. We have a lot of Star Wars fans in our youth group, and so I showed the Darth Vader in a small group video. So I actually purchased the video and showed it, and it was a hit. It was funny. There's a little cheesy parts, but the cheesiness wasn't so bad that you couldn't show the video. So it was a great video. Check it out. For my second funny video, I showed a BuzzFeed video that I think is called like things that cats do that would be creepy if you did it. And so there's like this cat joke going on, inside joke in our youth group, because there's like a kid in our youth group who loves cats and kittens and stuff like that. And so I showed this video where like a person was pretending to be a cat. This is a great video. In fact, it would be even funnier if you did this video on your own, kind of mimicking some of the stuff they did in this video. It's really funny, probably really easy to shoot and edit. And all of our kids were dying because they thought it was hilarious because everyone has had a cat or seen a cat, and it was pretty accurate. So check that video out. I'll link it below. I wrote down that we were going to play 2 games, but we actually played 3 games. And all these games I found just searching YouTube games that I found online. 2 of them are from my buddy Delmar Pete. The first one, I forgot what he calls it. You can look at the video below to see what he calls it, but what we call it is called Game of Thrones. And the video below will kind of explain how they play, but basically there's a office chair in the middle, and your job sitting in the office chair is to block everybody from hitting your office chair with the ball. The office chair is the throne, and everyone else in the circle that's standing around the chair, their job is to have the dodgeball and hit the chair. You can watch Delmar's video; he explains it way better. But it started off well, and I think our kids would have loved to play a little longer. But I was actually getting kind of bored because our kids were too nice. Instead of constantly trying to throw the ball at the kid, they kept passing it to each other and trying to like use skill and strategy to win this game, as opposed to just constantly just trying to hit the kid with the dodgeball. So after about 10 minutes of that, I decided to kind of flip the script and play a game that I glanced on YouTube as I was kind of looking for different stuff, and I said, let's just try this, and it's called knee tag. And the video below explains it, and what I did is I just gave him 30 seconds of this random game where you put your hands on your knees, and I made a joke about how when you're a Christian and you go to a birthday party or a dance or something, and they play the cha-cha slide, and when they said, put your hands on your knees, and I said, it's always awkward to be a Christian in that situation because you're a Christian, you put your hands on your knees, and you're like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? So I kind of played off that awkwardness in there as a little bit, and they played this game called knee tag. All the rules for that are below. I started off with them just playing with each other. Then they can move their feet, and then ultimately they can tag anybody. And they loved it. It was this quick, 3 minutes total, this quick 30-second burst, and our students loved it. So check that video out. For the last game, we played this game called Airpong, and it's not so much as a game as much as it's like a trick or like a joke to play on 2 students. And so the video below that Delmar made is actually perfect, kind of explaining it. But basically, you blindfold 2 kids, and you put them around a table, and you get a ping pong ball, and you drop a ping pong ball in the middle. And when they hear the ping pong ball drop, they have to blow the ping pong ball off the table. So I made jokes about how, like, because of Marco Polo, you can understand, like, spatially where sound is at and things like that. And so I just kind of hyped up the game, blindfolded them, dropped the ball, and they played this game. And I did it 2 or 3 times, and then the last round, what I did is I got a two like full red cups of flour, dumped it on the table, and when I dropped the ping pong ball, and they heard the ping pong ball, they just started blowing the flour into those faces. I actually have an Instagram video of when we did that last night, and it was pretty hilarious. You can check that out on my Instagram below also. But if you're gonna do a game like this, if you're gonna do a great game where you're gonna like kind of prank the kids, make sure you have a prize for them. So what I gave each kid, last night I went to Walmart and I bought tons of 75% off Valentine's Day candy. I just gave it tons to our kids, and I found like some big boxes of candy that like it normally costs $6, but it was like $1 last night. And I gave these kids these big boxes of like pixie sticks. And then I also gave them 2 of our youth group stickers that we have, just kind of saying like thanks for being a good sport. So I hate doing these like kind of prank trick games without like saying thank you for being a good sport about it. Otherwise, you're just a jerk. So do this game, but also have some prizes in mind so that way they come back. And especially last night, we had a new kid who did it, a kid that's never been here before. They played this game, they got flour blown in their face, and I said, welcome to the youth group. So it was great that I was able to give him something afterwards, so that way he was, well, hopefully he'll come back next week. We played Give Us Clean Hands, which I love, Jesus Paid It All, and From the Inside Out. So some of the older songs, but I love this. Let's especially Give Us Clean Hands. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. So. And then our message is about Mormonism tonight. Like I said, if you've been paying attention, been following me, we've been doing a series in apologetics, and we've been kind of comparing our faith to other faiths. And this week was Mormonism. But when I put my series out, hopefully you can see this if you buy my series and read through my notes. But one thing I made sure that I did is explain that we're not here to mock or ridicule or belittle other people for believing what they believe in. People believe whatever they believe for whatever reasons. And our job is to show the love of Christ to them. And so even though if you study the history of Mormonism, kind of what they believe, there's some goofy stuff that might scratch your head. How could people believe this? But that's irrelevant. What's relevant is that you love them and show them the grace of Jesus Christ and the mercy and the love that He's bestowed on us to them. So it was a good night. The kids enjoyed it. They've been learning so much this week, this past month, about what Jehovah's Witnesses believe, how to defend your faith against an atheist and agnostic, and that's not what Mormons believe. And next we were talking about Islam, and especially with kind of the recent event that's been going on. It's going to be an interesting night, kind of bringing about not just the discussion of what Islam believes and what we believe, but also kind of talking about worldwide persecution of Christians at the hands of some Muslim extremists and different things like that. So I'm really excited about how the series is going to end. That's going to go into what next month is, which is You Own the Wednesday. And that's a great segue for You Own the Wednesday. We split up into small groups, but it was only for like 5 minutes because I went long on my message, and we talked about what they were going to do for You Own the Wednesday. So we have 1 week left of small groups and preparing for You Own the Wednesday. And then next week we start the You Own the Wednesday. And hopefully our kids are prepared. I'm going to start working with the kids who are preaching to help them make sure they don't say anything heretical, as well as help them with structure and help build their confidence. That way they can talk in front of their peers about Jesus. So I'm really looking forward to March. It's going to be interesting how this video is going to work in March, because I'm doing nothing that week besides cheering our students on. But at bare minimum, I'll tell you how it goes every single week and maybe give you some tips from the trenches of how You Own the Wednesday worked for us for our second year, and how maybe if you guys do it, some tips for you guys to help lead your kids in this venture. So looking forward to it. Well, I'm going to go home right now and take some medicine and hopefully get better, because I feel disgusting. I just want to sleep and take Benadryl all day. But God bless you guys. Follow me on Twitter. Go to my website. Do all that good stuff. Love you guys. See you later. God bless.